I started learning Lomilomi in 1996. I graduated from Brian Edding School of Massage, and I started actually doing massage as a teenager with my sister Rose. I got a massage from a boyfriend, and it's like, wow, this really feels good. It's a long distance boyfriend. I didn't see him very often at all, but I got turned on to massage. I came home and I bought a book, and my sister Rose and I began just practicing on each other. And then I went on with my life and went to school and got married, had kids. I was a computer programmer for Safeco Insurance Company. And then one day I got a termination offer from Safeco Insurance Company. This was a point where I was a single mom and had 2 kids. My 2 kids were like 8 or 9, something like that, and so it was like, computer makes a lot of good money. It's good for raising my children. And now I have the choice to go on probation and get somebody watching every step I do, or go look for another job in the computer field. I didn't have any interest in learning a whole new bunch of computer stuff, or accept their termination offer. I took a big breath, and I took the step. I accepted the termination offer. I was given 3 months of salary, and they didn't fight unemployment, so I had unemployment for a year, and I went to Brian Edding School of Massage. What a gift it is that somebody at Safeco Insurance Company complained about my work. And how hard it was for me to hear that news, that somebody was complaining about my work and they're doing all this da-da-da, right? But I took that and I went to Brian Edding, and right before I graduated, we saw different demonstrations of Traeger and Reiki and different styles of massage, and one of them was Lomilomi. I saw Sean Masala Kimmel demonstrate Lomi, and I fell in love. Instantly, I had been thinking of going the Traeger route, but when I saw this demo, I'm like, that is me exactly. Now, why did I think that? There were a couple things, and one was because she talked about some of the spiritual aspects, and we've covered a little bit of that already. This connection between nature, spirit, and humanity is like, that feels good. And even when we here in this classroom were bringing in all the different pieces of nature, did you feel how the room got big and relaxed? It's so different than some other parts of our sprinting life, if you will. So I started studying with Sean, and I studied with Sean for 7 years. No, cancel that. I studied with Sean for 4 years, but I did the work that I learned from Sean for 7 years. And after I studied with Sean, I studied with Aupuni Ipi'ula. And Aupuni's a native Hawaiian who teaches here in Seattle. His style of teaching is to teach 2.5 years of spirituality, spiritual aspects first. And then he opens permission for you to apply to work to go to his bodywork school, his Lomilomi school. And I said that very carefully. Most of us are used to, if we have the money to pay, we're going to that program. Not without Aupuni. You have permission to apply. Maybe you'll come in or maybe not. I chose not to go that route and not to apply to a study with Aupuni for several reasons that aren't that important now. But then I was given the choice of what next. And I started studying with 2 different teachers at once, Kim and Jim Hartley in Olympia, Washington, and Maka'ala Yates. Kim and Jim, I'll just mention briefly, they had studied with both Sean and with Aupuni. I had a fairly similar background to them. And of course I learned some things from them, but where I really learned a lot was in my studies with Maka'ala, although I studied with both of them for a while. And I student taught with Kim and Jim for 25 classes, so I publicly acknowledge Kim right now for what I got from her as far as creating community in class. That was one of the big pieces. But when I started studying with Maka'ala, I let go of all the body work I'd done before. That 7 years of beautiful body work that I learned from Sean and that I had loved so much, when I went to Hawaii to study with Maka'ala, I 100% expected to add to what I learned from Sean, not replace. And so I was the person who was most surprised when I had no more desire to go down that other path. Rather, I started doing just the work I'd learned from Maka'ala, which is Lomilomi. So what was it that drew me to Lomilomi? There's a few things.